purchase. I had to.
Could be looking at me trying to make it for a minute. Patient while I'm making it, the cake I need the digits. Whole lot on my plate, but didn't fix it.
Say it ain't true, man.
Where'd you find this?
Let's get ready to rumble.
This is PHAT'S Barbershop Club.
Brought to you by PHAT'S Fresh Cuts. It's more than a barbershop.
And here's your host, Ladarius Fat Man.
What's up, Rustin? What's up, everybody? I am Fat, and this is PHAT'S Barbershop Club. Real topics, real views from real people. Man, I have in the building with me. Tell me again.
My name is Whitey Shell. We're with the Black Creative Circle.
Okay.
We're working on a project with NCLA, which is North
Central Louisiana Arts Council.
Yeah, Central Louisiana Art Council, and we're working on a project, the Greenwood project.
Okay.
And
so I'm Erica McFarland. I am a member of the Black Creative Circle, and I'm also on the board of Mid Black. And the project is the Levi Lift Every Voice, and we are doing a collaboration with the Black Creative Circle to produce a mural on the east end and on the side of the Blue Gym, the old Greenwood Elementary building, which we learned yesterday is a secondary spot, so that's exciting. So that is in works with some workshops and just bringing more art and culture to that area.
Okay.
So we're excited about that.
Okay. With the mural, what inspirations do you guys have to get this that's going on the side of this?
So I hate to talk about it as just a mural. Because for me it's bigger than the mural.
Okay.
The mural is just I think one component in what we're doing. What we're trying to do. Initially we talked about doing the mural, and then when we sat down and started meeting with the community, we started thinking bigger than just the mural being on the wall, because we wanted it to be something that we can come in and do, but also leave with the community, so the community could also do it for themselves afterwards.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be just this one-off type of thing.
Right.
So we started talking about doing workshops, so we could leave skills with the community. So we're doing a mural, we're doing workshops, we're doing a documentary, and the documentary is going to showcase like the people in the community, and the people will be talking about the Greenwood area and the history of the school and the history of the people, and like even like in the conversation yesterday, we started to find that it's so much history, just like as if we was talking to people from Harlem or any other place in around the country.
Okay.
So I think it was just I think that's a part of why we started thinking about the project way bigger than just the mural or whatever.
Yeah.
Cultural memory is an important part of the project as a whole. Like I said, the mural is just one component of it. And it's something tangible, but something tangible that may not last forever.
Right.
But getting the residents of the area together to talk about their experiences there and to sow those seeds for the possibility of another project that's similar in nature that can capture more stories,
right,
and hold those for people that will come, in the future, for the future generations, so that folks will have a better sense of what Greenwood is and was, and what the East End is about, right? And in a way that comes from the people who experienced it, as opposed to having it been told by somebody who never lived there.
Yeah.
Because that happens. We see that happen a lot of times. People that never met the people in that community tell their story and document it, and it's like, well, we think the people were 8 feet tall, and it started becoming this other thing instead of something that's actually from the people. Yeah. And yesterday, a lot of things that came up was the talking about the kids.
Oh, yeah.
The kids need to know. The kids need to know.
Yeah.
So I think we hit it on the head with trying to really expand it farther than just the mural. It's really about the people.
Yeah, definitely. If we can shift this way so we can get him and Drake into the shot here. Yeah, just bring it on over.
You see me.
Oh, definitely. And there we go, man. There we go. We good. We in there. So, the people. I know I've been reached out, and I'm so sorry. I've been so busy. I didn't get that questionnaire done. And
You can answer questions today.
look, and I was gonna say, I was gonna mention that. Let's get it done today because
we're working on dates now.
Okay.
So you can sit down in front of the camera and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Your memories of growing up in Greenwood or in the East End. And that's what we need. We need so much more than we need the older generation talking about the older times and the history of the school, but we do need present times. Yeah. We need generational things. We need young kids, to talk about how they, their experiences over in the neighborhood. What we keep talking about is not only the past. We're talking about the present and we're talking about the future too, right? So it's important that all of those things are captured in the project. I'm born and raised right here. Yeah, I'm talking about East End, Duke Drive, the projects. Yeah. I came out of the projects, fortunately, but man, it was fun living over on the East End. At that time, every year we got the fair. We don't get it here now, but every year we look forward to walking down Chatham Highway, which is Martin Luther King right now, and going to the fair at the East End Park. Yeah, man, that was one of the highlights of October. Yeah, see, that was another thing we talked about was, kids thinking what they have right now is everything. But the reality is, you grew up in the projects. I grew up in the projects. I don't know if y'all grew up in the projects, but that's not who you are. All of who you are. You're much more than that. And I think that's the importance too. Is that kids get to see people that went through things that they're going through now, and they get to see that it's not nothing. It's not anything new. This is new. This is something. This is just a part of life. And just because I'm here doesn't mean I can't change my situation. Definitely. And I think so many times we because the history isn't being told to the next generation and the next generation, we're limited in what we know about ourselves. And I think the importance of knowing each other, knowing yourself, is knowing your community, knowing your history, knowing I knew nothing of the Greenwood Elementary. I knew nothing of it.
It's two things that you brought up that was brought up yesterday, which is really awesome because it's the contrast and the generations. Someone, I think the oldest person we had was 92. Wow. And the two things that she felt like represented that area was the projects and the fairgrounds. So that's exciting that something like those two things have that lasting impression in multi-generations. And they did talk about the depth, knowing the history, beyond what is now. And when they were talking, I had wrote down, if you stay in the shallow end, you won't get far. And so knowing the history and going deeper into what it was like, and like you said yesterday, you find out you're not the first one. They've been going to the fairgrounds. If things have been around, so you are able to have more of a well-rounded picture of who you are, where you come from, and how much more you're connected. Because community is not just a word; it's community, it's family, and it's connection through the experience that multi-generations have experienced in that area. So I love that. That was really cool. To see that.
I don't know. Y'all have anything y'all want, since we on there, anything you want to ask me on that situation? I mean, on the topic of Greenwood and East End.
Well, you said, so you didn't know that the Blue Gym used to be an elementary school?
I didn't know that. Okay. I knew growing up, just kind of like the Boys and Girls do now. They have summer luncheons going on throughout the summer, feeding the community. I knew they did that, but nothing of Greenwood Elementary.
Yeah, so
I was going to say this. I mean, that's part of why the project in its totality is so important. You talk about the communal and cultural memory, that gets eroded when you start tearing down buildings and people start aging and folks start moving off, and then you get gentrification. You start renaming streets and roads, and stuff just kind of gets further and further in the distance. And then you get a generation who knows absolutely nothing about any of that stuff. And that's why capturing these narratives is important, because it starts to inscribe on that stuff before it gets completely, washed away. Yeah. And then somebody else can pick it up and start adding more to it.
Watering it down.
Right. And I think it's like you were saying. I think it's just important that like you all are the people that's telling the story. It's not somebody else coming in and saying this is this. And then like even for us, like I'm from here, like down the highway. Okay. But it's still important for me to make sure I make space for you all. It's somebody that's me that wants to paint, that probably dreamed about being an artist, right? But didn't see themselves or felt like they had the opportunity to do it, right? So what we're doing is we're creating that kind of like platform so they can come in, they can do it firsthand, and then they can take it and do whatever they want with it. So I think it's so many layers to what we're trying to do with this project, and we're hoping that like last night was like I think that was like the most special night so far. Yeah. Because we've been pulling, trying to get people to show up, trying to get some information from the people. And last night was like a boom, just because of.
Yeah, Miss Wanda James, she's the legal advocate at DART, and my coworker, and her husband is from this area, and so she just has so many connections. Even today, someone called to give us another list of names, and before she left last night, she was like, these are I think it was like 5 families who started the East End. So it's just some good, deep, rich history, and to be able to get to the beginning. And Big Jeff, he was there last night. Okay. And so
shout out to Big Jeff, man.
Yeah, his grandmother taught at the old elementary school.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. Yeah. She was a teacher. Yeah, I didn't know.
So it was just like that history again of the generations, and to be able to get that. It was something else I was going to say, but I lost it.
I think this project is, a good illustration of the idea of a nation within a nation. We're talking about, being Americans, but there's all different types of representations of what it means to be an American. Within a state, within a portion of the state that you live in, within a particular community, within a particular neighborhood, that everybody has their special, unique experiences, and this is one of those good illustrations of why it's important to be able to hold on to some of that stuff, because not everyone gets to have that kind of experience. Number one. And you want to be able to retain those memories for the people that come after, so they can know that there's power in being unique, and be able to have that kind of agency to actuate it. Because that was part of the conversation last night. Is that there was a certain amount of power that was held by people who went to Greenwood before that school was integrated, and you lost a lot of that autonomy and individuality, and people just kind of merged into Lincoln High or whatever school, and which is what integration is supposed to do, but it winds up facilitating that erasure, and that's what we're trying to do, is to recover some of the stuff that was erased.
Man, Lincoln High, I think, was the black high school, and then they integrated into
Lincoln High eventually. Integrated,
into Ruston High 70 something.
They talked about that yesterday.
So it's some. I mean, to know the families that kind of started. I think it's gonna really become even more interesting as families start to like talk. One of the things I've experienced, when you first start like a project and you're trying to get a community to buy in, you have to get people on your side. And I think for these last few months we didn't have that, like people that bought to buy in to what we were doing. And then last night was like
it's just like everything. That,
And we as a people are seers.
Yeah.
To see it done before we can kind of buy into it,
Right.
So that it's something that y'all did. They saw.
And then like I say Louisiana folks we kind of cliquish. Like if you ain't a part, let you in. You gotta have somebody to bring you in. Like, yo, this cousin Pete. This cousin Pete.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's something too. Speaking for Nick, like what we wanted to do as well. It's we do a lot of stuff downtown and other parts of town, but we're here for this entire area, and I don't think that's been shown or done in this way before. So we wanted it to be not just like Vida said, it's not just a mural and it's not just a Levi project, but it's who we are and expanding and taking off the parameters and that it just making sure that we're inclusive with the community that we're here to serve when it comes to all of the art stuff that we offer and represent.
I mean, just being from here, it's bringing light to bringing life to a area that it don't get the best publicity. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a bad place.
Yeah.
I strongly feel that because I love being over here. Yeah, I don't live in the area, but I'm close enough and I work here.
Right.
So I'm here every day. I see the people every day. So I know the goodness that this area has to offer,
Yeah.
So I'm glad that y'all are putting more into it than it just being a mural.
Definitely. I think that was clear when we started the partnership. It wasn't just going to be, we don't come throw some paint on the walls and that's just not.
I mean, but as an artist, visualist, it's never just that, because of the thought process that you have to put into it. Just buying into the thought process, because you can think about it and say, nah, it ain't gonna work. It's gonna work. Nah, it's not gonna work. But then once you buy into that process, that thought process, I'm glad y'all actually put in the effort and time to do something for our community,
and hopefully like people to see that us doing this project, it really shows that the East End is an important part of the town.
It is.
It's not just like the slums or this outcast, the black sheep part of town or whatever, the black eye of town, with how people think sometimes, but it's so much more depth and meat and importance to that area. And a lot of times it's not the people fault that's in the communities. It's the people that run the town that make sure that happens. But I think just like any other city, people know where the real culture comes from, and I think that's what Greenwood, the East End is. It's culture. It's the real culture of the city of Ruston.
It's definitely that. We got Jeff that comes in, man. He said this is going to be powerful. He was just calling. He said, Jeff.
I was wondering for that. We're calling back to back. I'm glad it ain't no crisis.
Yeah, Jeff, we on here, man. It's going to be very powerful, man. I'm glad that Jeff was able to attend the event last night, or the forum.
Joining the conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad he was able, because if anybody has to do with anything representing Ruston, it'll be Big Jeff. So y'all got a good one in him being a part of this as well.
He the one that sat next to me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was there. He was like, man, I don't even have much to say. He just taking in the information because there was so much stuff being passed on, that was like gems.
I can talk about Jeff for hours, just on how he don't want the recognition. He's not here for.
I think he said that.
Yeah, he's not here for none of the glitz and glamour of any situation. He's here for the people of the situation.
Right.
You know, that's usually who he is and what he's for. You know what I'm saying? And at least for me and everybody that we hang with, Jeff Miller is for the people of the situation and not the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what make him Big Jeff. So give me some of those questions though. You know, we got some people on here from Ruston and they might be able to tap in and give some feedback on the same question that y'all giving me.
Yeah, but I want them to really tap in so they can, like I said, get on that the interview.
Yeah.
Do we have a like a way that they can like email or if it's a link that they can
Is it a Google form?
Yeah.
Fill out.
Yeah.
That would be great.
We don't have one yet? Okay.
We don't have one yet,
We work on
but
it.
There's gonna
if
be
you're
one.
interested in being a part of the conversation, you can, I guess, email me.
Okay.
At
Go and give it out.
EMCFRLND@gmail.com. It's E McFarland without any vowels. The lady at the city taught me that. She my water bill and grandma.
He McFarland without any vowels.
Yeah, she was like, no vowels. I was like, that's all my life. I've been struggling. And she told me that. But I guess we talked, you said some of the memories you had were, you know, walking down in the fairgrounds and things like that.
Yeah.
What were some of the struggles that you experienced growing up here on BC?
See, that question for me, I was one of those people who recognized struggle, saw the struggle, never felt like it was me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I did see those struggles as a struggle, and I resonated with those people. I understood what it was. I mean, no more than Dad not being in the house. You know, I didn't think it was a struggle to eat a sugar toast. You know, it was a dessert to me. So you know, so those things. I mean, some people would say in their latter years that was the struggle, but for me, I was good with eating peanut butter off the spoon, you know, and so it wasn't. I recognize those things as struggles for some people, but it just didn't feel like a struggle for me because Mom and Grandma, they loved me like it was nothing. They did everything else for me, so I didn't ingest any of those struggles.
I think I would feel safe in saying that that's almost a part of our culture.
Yeah.
We adapt.
And
we adjust, and we know how to, I don't know, things when you are in a community and we all making sugar, you know, toast together.
Right.
And that's what we do. That's the thing.
Right.
It's not a struggle or it's not a lack.
Yeah.
It's what we have, and we're being creative. And that creative mind, I tell people all the time, well, I'm not creative. I don't have any. We're all creative.
Yeah,
we all have that.
Yeah.
It just gets beat out of us from child on up, unfortunately. Right. But things like that, having to make do with what you have and figuring out how to produce a meal or a snack or not be hungry out of that, then you know that's what you have to do. But I think for Black people, most things that we look back now, that's why it's like trauma and all those things are like, it's like it comes as a shock because it's like, who knew I was dealing with all that? Because we laugh, we joke, you know, we do all these other things with what we have, and it becomes a part of us. Mm-hmm. But mixed in that sometimes is the pain and the hurt and whatever else was there. Yeah. But I think as a people, I think we probably would all say that they were struggles, but we weren't sad in the corner. We was eating our sandwiches.
Knocking over trash cans. You know, anything to have fun. You know, that's what kids do, and I think that's, you know, like you're saying, that's what we always do. We gonna figure out a way to to joke. You know, even at the funerals, you know, we still,
Yeah.
you know, have joke time, and you know, really get to try to enjoy each other.
Yeah.
So,
What would you say represents who or what represents the East End community?
There are multiple people that represents the East End, but it's one that I'm gonna say. Although, you know, Jeff is Jeff, all right. But no, the one person that I feel like represents East End would be Coach Ellis.
Yeah.
yeah, we've heard Coach Ellis a few times.
Coach Ellis, I mean, Ruston,
Yeah.
East End, Lincoln Parish, you know, is his heart. So, but he would be the one. He was also the first person to tell me that I was a good baseball player. So,
Did you attend his camp?
I never was able to attend his camp because, I mean, I was older when it started.
Okay.
You know, so I didn't ever get to attend it. But I've been to one as a spectator.
Okay.
And I've seen how it's organized, and man, it's a nice thing. But yeah, Coach Ellis is the guy. That's the guy that I feel like represents the area. And what was it? Another part of that question?
I said who or what?
Oh, who or what? Yeah, Coach Ellis is the who. What would be? I mean, East End Park. East End Park represents Ruston.
Which park is considered East End? Mayfield?
East End Park will be Mayfield Park.
And that's where y'all do hang out on Sundays.
That's
Can you
where
tell us about that?
That's where the Sunday hangouts are, but it's also where the fairgrounds
Okay.
is, and I mean, yeah, the Sunday hangouts is cool, and I would really love for them to be able to get back to being able to do that under certain stipulations, you know, of course. But I think that the East End Park brings people together, like, and when I say bring people together, East End, a Sunday on East End at the East End Park would bring Monroe, Bernice, Shreveport. It would bring everyone to that, you know, because it was just that family friendly. You know, things got out of hand like anywhere else, but you got a long period of time with just being friends and family with people. You know, you got the experience.
Yeah.
You know, but unfortunately, you got crazy things that happen. You know, but hey,
it comes with it. It's part of it. We were watching an interview with Ali Sadiq on 85 South Show.
Okay. Yeah.
And, which is a great interview if y'all haven't seen that.
Yeah.
But he was talking about how as Black people, like, you can't just say, well, you know, we're gonna take all the positive and leave the negative over there. You take it all, because the negatives, you know, they bring something too. You know, everybody, it's all inclusive. It's just one body of people. You can't just segregate one because they, you know, they have a hard time or whatever the case may be. It all makes the function, you know. So
try putting your car battery up just the positive. Tell me how far you want to go.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good.
You can't just have the positive. You gotta have a sprinkle of negative. You know, the salt, you know, is what I call it. Hey, we all need some salt.
Character.
Yeah, you gotta put some salt in there, give it a little flavor. You know, it changed the whole dynamic. Right. So that's what we need.
I think that's like night and day. Like you just have to have that balance. I was talking to a friend about like music. And you know, like the kids say NBA YoungBoy out there, right? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, NBA YoungBoy is a part of the culture,
right? So
that's not something that we should take from the culture or try to push away from the culture. What needs to happen is we need more balance.
Right.
So just as hard as we might have an NBA YoungBoy, we need a J. Cole. We need some more Kendrick. You know, or those type of characters or those type of artists You know, we just need more of those.
Yeah.
We need some Louisiana versions of that.
Yeah.
That's pushed to the front, so kids can see, okay, yeah, this is me and this is me.
Yeah.
So, and then I have balance. You know,
I think, man, with my my love of music, starting at an early age, I think a lot of people take what they take out of music. Like let's just say NBA YoungBoy, because I listen to NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah, I do too.
But I'm listening to a full album of edited NBA YoungBoy. It sounds real good. You know what I'm saying? I can hear everything he's saying now. I'm not opposing anybody that curse. I'm just a meaningful person. I like to hear if your curse word makes sense. You know, don't just throw it in there just because.
Bun B said that.
You know, like it has to make some. And when it makes sense, when you place your curse words in there, there's only probably 2 or 3 in your song. You know,
Yeah.
And I hear that even in a YoungBoy, when it's a song that's going radio, it's easier to be edited 1, 2, or 3 curse words or whatever. But YoungBoy, on the lines of cultural, when they see him, they don't take the creativeness out of it. They take the actions, you know, that he rap about.
Right.
They don't take the art of it.
It's like when we were young. I don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
But when I was young, when Minister Society came out, you know, we was drawn to the old dog and the cane.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah,
We didn't take a lot of the meat of the movie, what the movie was trying to, showcase to us, what it's trying to like really give us. And later on, you can go back and watch it when you're an older person. But at that time, as a young person, you're like, oh dog, that's the character I want to be like. But reality was, it was so much to that, more to the movie than that. And I think that's the same thing with any art form.
That's definitely what it is.
People don't always see the whole of it.
Right.
It's just kind of like taking little things from it. And then as you get older, it's just like I was talking to somebody, they were talking about a movie they watched when they was young, and then a movie they went back and watched later.
Yeah.
You know how different the movie was. Those things that you didn't really pay attention to.
Life experience will make you see things differently. And distance, just a little bit of time will give you some space to see stuff differently.
And that's what we hoping with the project.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
To show, because like we talked about, if you've never seen it, you don't know if you could do it. So I think about somebody like Chris Brown. And I mentioned my friend Mark last time I was here, and how I always felt like he's like a Chris Brown, but you only got visually one Chris Brown showing someone who can do the graffiti art, who can dance, who can sing, who has all these artistic components. And I think those people struggle the most because one, everybody is like, sit down somewhere, focus on one thing, and it's like, but that's not my vibe. That's not what I do. Yeah. So when you're able to see people who can do multiple things and have multiple skill sets, who can act and who can sing and so on and so forth, then it's like, oh, I want to do that. You know what I mean? You have some. You see that as one. It's a thing. Yeah. And again, back to you're not the first one who wanted to do 3 things at one time. Right. And then 2, that it's obtainable. It's you're able to do that. So I think that's very important. And I think film does a good job in doing that, in showing like the creative aspect and the way that people do things. I remember that movie Malcolm and Marie. You ever see that? Yeah. I love Malcolm and Marie. Got such poor reviews. Same with Fences, but it was like a monologue almost. It's like if you did not watch it through that lens, you weren't going to get it.
Love story.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
But if you didn't watch it through that lens, you just were going to be like, you weren't going to get it. Same with Fences. It was more like a stage play on big screen, and people were like, this sucks. It was like, but if you watched it through the lens of the stage play, but if that's not your thing, if you are just like, all I know is Netflix movies, or all I know is this one type, then you're not going to be able to open your eyes to different things. Or what's the movie? With a hush puppy.
Southern Beast of the Wild.
Yeah, Southern Beast of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's another one that's different and a really good film. Yeah.
It's a few like movies lately I've been seeing that's got that, like it's black, but it's got something different.
Magical realism.
Yeah.
That was called.
Yes.
Magical realism.
That's what it's called.
Magical realism, y'all.
And hopefully that's what I'm saying about like the aspects of what we're doing. It's past, present, and the future. And the future is about what can you imagine the East End to be? You know, what can it be like outside of what you've been told or what you've been showed for it to be? And that's what the kids come in. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's where everybody can be able to come to the table and say, this is what East End can be. It can be as magical as Wakanda, you know, or as royal as Rwanda, you know, you know what I'm saying. So I think that's what we're hoping like to bring to the table is that people can understand the past, understand what we are now, and then start imagining what could be over there before somebody else come over and start saying
what it should be.
Yeah, what it should be.
And that's why community input is so important, is that it's not just us collecting visual information to put into some mural that's copied and pasted, you know, and then we walk away from it. The mural is really a reflection of these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, it's a reflection of the things that are important to the people in the community that want to be reflected in that work. And hopefully some kids will have some input as well to give some direction, so that it's something that really is, you know, a significant representation of people who live in that space, who move in that space, right? That it's not just, you know, us, you know, doing some glorified version of what we think of that neighborhood, of that area.
You got something else? Those are all the questions.
I agree. Oh yeah, that was pretty much it because you answered everything else. I believe just naturally in our conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
That's good.
So what you got for us?
Well, I want on the mural because I want to know how can people participate?
We got several ways, and we're gonna work on that Google Doc. But one of the things that if people want to submit photographs, they can submit photographs through NCLA.
Okay.
And we'll try to get the photos back to them within 24 hours. And that's a way. So you can submit photos of family members or photos of the community, or you know whatever you think could possibly help for the project. Some of the photos might go into the documentary of the community, and some might go into the actual painting of the mural.
That'd be pretty awesome, man. That'll be real cool.
Yeah.
And I think once we start painting, we'll have community days where people are able to come out and actually put paintbrush
to the wall.
It's a big wall, so
Yeah.
So Arthur.
Yeah. So, and we're working on trying to get some things updated to the building too, through the city. Which that's things that just the gutters and the wall being fixed on the front. And so hopefully we're hoping that this is just a first step.
Yeah.
The mural, and then the documentary, and then the football field being updated, and then flowers being put around the building, and through the garden, the Greenwood Garden Club, things like that, where the people in the community are the people that's making these things happen, instead of waiting on the city or somebody out the state or somebody else to come in and do it. Like just giving them the resources and inspiring them and giving them hope. Because hope is it's the biggest thing that you can give anybody.
Definitely, I feel like that. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And if they want to submit any photos, they can email me. And if you want to email the photos, but what it's about, all that good stuff.
Give a
then you
description.
can. Yeah, but if you want to just email me to say, hey, can I, bring this to you or something like that, I would be the contact person to be able to obtain those photos. Or if you're like, my grandmama was such and such, and I want to tell her story, then you email me for that too until we get that form for y'all to just fill out. And then email and we can set that up for the interview part.
I'm excited about this. I'm ready to hear. I know a lot about Ruston. I prided myself in knowing or even trying to learn about Ruston in the East End area. So I'm excited for this project to just hear what I don't know. I'm still stuck on the starter family. Family. That right there is because you never hear about the families that started on the East End. You just hear about how it used to be a white community, and then it converted over to the black community.
Okay.
That's all we know.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
you see, that's new information.
See, the East End was all white, and then those black families moved in. Whoever the first five, that's where we never got that part of it.
That's where it always goes, man.
You see,
that's where it always goes.
So I'm with that. Oh, Jeff said he learned so much last night, so I'm
they were dropping all kind of gems.
All the gems, man.
Yeah, it was a good core of people last night.
That's good, man. That's good.
And then there was like then you could see everybody wheels starting to turn.
Yeah,
and it's like you could tell they wanted to go. Like I need to go get so and so.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good night
because you don't really realize how interesting and fascinating the history of where you've lived.
Yeah.
You kind of, like I say, when you hear bits and pieces and you just kind of live on that, but you never take those bits and pieces that his family knows, your family knows, my family, we kind of put them, we never get that part.
Sometimes you just underappreciate yourself.
You definitely do, yeah.
And that's, when I say self, I mean community, anywhere you're from, your family,
Yeah.
So I think that's a part of what we're hoping, no, I'm not going to say hoping. That's a part of what we're doing with this project. It's like, really highlighting the gems of the community.
Yeah, it's a lot of gems. I know it for a fact. Y'all, let's have a little fun, man. Y'all ready to have a little fun?
Yeah.
All right, let me hit the Fats 5. This is the Fats 5 segment. We did a little bit of it when you were here. Kind of switched it up a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna have a little fun. I like to have these sit downs and talk about and learn all the different things that come through these doors here at the shop. I leave here knowing something new every day, and y'all have given me so much to go home with today. So let's see. First question for Fats 5 would be, if you win the lottery, who's the first person you call?
You gotta call someone?
I guess it gotta be my mom, because if I don't,
she find out.
It's gonna be an issue.
It's gonna be an issue. So I call my mom first, and then probably my dad, because they not together. So I call my mom first, my dad, and then I think everybody else will find out from distance, especially family-wise.
I'm probably gonna say like an accountant or a lawyer.
Exactly. That's plans.
Straight to see my thing was, how long is it gonna take me to call the first person?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Once I got the giveaway budget set.
I'm
Once that's set aside, so it's like I won $2,000 to give you. Like
I'm like the person, whoever this person is that won the last Mega Million or whatever it was.
Last and everything.
Well, they hadn't even come the last $1 billion. What was it, last month or so? they still hadn't cashed the ticket in.
Hmm.
So if they hadn't cashed the ticket in, nobody knows they won. So it depends on how long it take me to get to that first person. Mine would be my wife, but it just depends on how long it takes.
Yeah, I know. If I'd have won, it wouldn't be. I'd have been cashed in. I would have been there by now. I probably would have had like the mask on and everything.
Like the guy who in North Carolina, he had the screen mask on, he had the glove on, he couldn't see nothing. I don't blame him. Let's do a little what's in, what's out. Y'all ready for that one?
Yeah.
Sugar in the grits or no sugar?
No sugar.
No sugar.
Sugar in the grits.
Sugar in the grits. Sugar in the grits.
She's from California, so
She's not from the South. So.
I'm from Louisiana too.
Yeah, no sugar.
No sugar in the grits.
Nah, not at all.
Growing up, it was sugar in the grits. I got older and was kind of like, it's a little more grainy than I needed to be. So I'm just a salt and butter guy now. I like to add my eggs in, but that's it. Let's say Blizzard or Blast ice cream.
Wow.
What's Blast?
The Sonic.
Oh.
So it's definitely not Blast.
I think I'm gonna go with the Blizzard.
Oreo Blizzard, right?
Yeah. Or strawberry cheesecake. So I'm gonna go Blizzard too.
I'm with the I like the chocolate brownie mocha.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. And I might have to use my.
Yeah, me too. All right. What Jay-Z, Beyonce, or Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys?
Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Yeah,
I'm Swiss and
They art. They buy art. They more art people. So
yeah.
I gotta go with them.
Now once look,
they like Swiss has like a like straight up like collection.
Yeah.
He was an.
Oh, you said art people.
Art,
yeah.
I like the art people.
No.
Oh no. Both
Okay.
of them are art people.
Yeah.
But now we finna have no fun. But I'm saying that art people. Swiss has like a crazy collection.
Yeah.
And he was an artist, like an active artist.
Yeah. He cut
then,
hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I love Alicia Keys. Like I was wanting to fight Swiss for a second when they got together. So I started out there. Swiss, if you're listening.
Beyonce's artistic expression and the way that she does things, it's like yes,
It is.
It's a lot of yes for somebody like you can't paint or something like that.
Yeah.
The way that she does things different than what I would normally see as an artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Her creativity in that. Even listening to her album, it was like, bro, it's layers. It's never just for face value. So yeah.
Then Jay Laz, the 444 record was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I'll say this on camera. I think that I'm gonna say it that God did his verse on God did was overrated.
Let's go for that.
It was very overrated.
I mean,
especially for a Jay-Z verse.
Okay, so this is the thing. And I'm saying this in agreement. Okay, if you give somebody 4 minutes and you have to keep listening because of who you are, of course you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
Of course you're gonna push it out there.
Yeah.
It's you get good reactions when you're popular just as fast as you get bad reactions in the sense of Drake's album. You know how as soon as Drake album dropped, 5 minutes later after people heard the first song, the first drop of the beat, they said it's whack. It's terrible.
Right.
You know?
So it definitely happened. That's what it was. It was a hot topic for the first day.
Yeah.
And we haven't had people really talking about it since. And then it's like, to me, it was the two things. It was it's like singing a gospel song. No matter how bad a gospel song is, the person singing the gospel song, if they on the Apollo show, they're not getting booed. Right.
Right.
They're not gonna get booed.
No,
They're gonna make it through the song.
Definitely.
And that same person sing another song, they won't get booed.
Definitely.
And then on top of that, like I don't know, it's just like to me, like you can tell Jay freestyle that, which he, they say freestyle everything.
Well,
but this one, what did he say?
He said he cheated on it.
Okay.
He said he practiced his verse before going into the book.
For this one right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it still, to me, it got a little boring. And then my second part of that was that we're as a society, we are in love with money. So no matter, like when he talking about, he's a billionaire, it really like got people excited.
Yeah.
But to me, it was it was like, to me, it wasn't that much more meat to the song. You listen to it, it got boring, the same da 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 da, which gets boring. Like for anybody, if you doing it was like maybe like 50 some 50 some bars or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you can't like rap the same like pattern and expect it to be like interesting.
And to add to that pattern, and we'll get to the next thing. But I listen to these songs just like I know you do. To add to that pattern, Jay-Z's been on that pattern for the last maybe 10 years. But here's the pattern. Before you say it, here's the pattern. Here's the pattern. The pattern is responding to you saying I'm not great.
Mm-hmm.
Responding to you saying I don't do this. He's in a responsive pattern right now.
Yeah.
And it's been there for the last 10 years because he's already been at the height of it. So now it's I'd rapped on this and that. Now, Meek Mill had to leave. Like it's all that's the repetitive part.
And to me, and I felt like too, like when you go listen to it, it's just like like I don't know. What was the last song that he did with the Nas song? His verse on there was 10 times better.
Yeah.
But they said it was articles written that this is one of his greatest verses ever. And I'm like, it's not even close.
No, it's
not even close. And that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe if it was 21 Savage, I'd be like, this is a great verse. But like for Jay, I'm like, this is okay.
It's definitely okay. It's like we said, it's
money,
light of the fire.
Yeah, it's just the whole I say as a society we're in love with money and fame. Yeah. And that's like the same thing with our last president. It was because of money and fame, people were drawn to this person. Yeah. So I don't have to say it.
The way things go now is not how long the fire lasts. It's how high the boom of the fire. Yeah. It's not how long it lasts. It's, can we make this flame go this high? Yeah. Not can we make can we spread the fire amongst each other?
Because they know people won't listen as long as they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at your insights on Facebook, it says 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Well,
the 3 second views.
It's something similar in the visual arts world. There was a study done some years ago that said that the average museum goer spends so many seconds in front of a painting. Yeah. And people spend hours, if not years, on a painting. Yeah. Of any given size. Right. And so you have a very limited amount of time to hold somebody's attention. Exactly. They don't know what you went through to make that thing. Exactly. And they probably don't even care. It's about whether or not they feel it when they first see it. And if they don't, then they keep moving. Right. And music is worse because there's so much of it. People can pick and choose what they want to now. Yep. And you can get it so instantaneously.
An album lasting more than 3 weeks is amazing album right now. Because it's so like, this album dropped and that album dropped. Even when I was just thinking, I was like, if we should be talking about a verse, we should talk about the J. Cole verse with Benny the Butcher on that record.
I didn't hear that one. I didn't hear that.
Man, that's a hard. So Benny the Butcher, Benny the Butcher talk, his drug talk, he said it in the music. Right. And then J. Cole came back with a verse that was anti-drug talk. Right. on his song.
Yeah.
And Benny the Butcher in the article, they got an article about it. That's like, yeah, he killed me on that.
Right. Which is gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's
But
gonna
I'm saying like that's like because of
I like Benny though.
because I like Benny too. But because of our attention span being so short, like that's not something that we'll talk about. We'll forget about that verse that came out maybe a couple months ago, and then whatever come out next week will be the next hot topic or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. Like it's hard right now to keep somebody's attention longer than 3 weeks.
I think that also kind of speaks to the level of black genius, though. There's so much great stuff out there.
Man.
I mean, somebody's always coming with something hard that's
Yeah.
going to elevate the game, and then it's like, what happens next?
We always tap into that
Right.
first.
Yeah.
We
And then
tap into that first.
it's even for like me with the whole argument against mumble rap. I'm like, mumble rap is genius in itself too, and it's just something that we might not appreciate as much right now. But when we come back and look at it's like when we went back and look at 3-6 Mafia because of mumble rap.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at like their cadence and how they rapped on a 3-bar versus a 4-bar. And now we're like, oh dang, mumble rap goes back to 3-6. It goes back to a verse that from Public Enemy Chuck D had.
Like go back.
Yeah. And it's I'm just saying, like what I'm saying is like genius. Sometimes we overlook that genius, and it's kind of similar to this project. Yeah. We overlook it because we're in that present moment.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's just about going back and giving it some time to marinate, and then we can go back and dissect it better. Because I always said this too. I said with mumble rap, we shouldn't be mad. It's a young kid thing. And as an older person, that might not be for me. But what's going to happen is somebody's going to take what they're doing with mumble rap and take it to a whole nother level. So you'll have another Kendrick, but in the vein of mumble rap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's my 21 Savage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the elevation of his rap, he still has the same flow type, but he has more substance.
Yeah. Okay.
He it's not so much foolishness now.
Yeah.
He has.
Well, yeah, he is growing up.
He's growing. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like the example.
And I think I just can see it continuing to evolve. But I think what this project is kind of like in that vein of like that what's that? What was that documentary series came out? Unseen Genius or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But that's what I think with what we're doing with this project. It's hitting on those like things that are just it's there, we can see it, but we don't appreciate it. Yeah, hidden gem.
Okay. Let's do a fill in the blank. This right here is easy. It's not too hard. You can lead a horse to water.
But you can't make it.
Make them drink it. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. If you want something done right,
do it yourself.
Do it yourself. To add insult to injury, man, that's a good one. All right, top 5. Give me a top 5. If you have 5, the top 5 artists that you
musical
that you.
Why you want me?
Let you go first.
That you just gotta listen to where you put them in your top 5.
Any artist?
Any artist. Oh yeah, group.
So I'm gonna say P-Funk as an artist.
Okay.
Prince, Public Enemy.
Okay.
Outkast. That's John Coltrane. Trying to make that verse.
Okay.
I feel like y'all is just gonna fail.
Start with Beyonce.
Start with Beyonce.
I wasn't gonna start there, actually. I was gonna start with Nelly because.
Did you say Nelly?
Because I have listened
From the
to
St. Lunatics?
And I was gonna say and the St. Lunatics, that orange, whatever city. because I was listening to Greed, Hate, Envy this morning, and I was just thinking, like, man, that whole album is just classic, and that song will never get old. None of the songs. I mean, Thick. I mean, we can go there.
Keep going.
So Nelly and the St. Lunatics. You can make them separate together. Beyonce. I feel like she has, you know, a song for life. Anything you're going through in life, Beyonce got a song for it. It's like the soundtrack. Maybe my life. I don't know. Man, who else? Okay, so pre-Drika and Kevin Gates breaking up.
It's still art.
Ooh, you can't lose a good woman now. So the pre-breakup Kevin Gates. Man, I'm trying to think of some people. I love Tasha Cobbs. Toby. How many is that? That's 5.
Wait.
Yeah, I would say Toby, Gates, Nelly, Beyonce. Same with Diction on in there.
Oh, I'm in there.
All right. My favorite Southern artist is Andre 3000.
Okay.
My favorite rap artist is Nas.
Okay.
My favorite Louisiana artist, I'm torn.
With, you know.
No. I'm torn between
Young Boy,
Soulja, Wayne. I'm torn between Soulja and Wayne. So I put both of those on the list. And my favorite, maybe new artist that don't get no pub is Rhapsody.
Oh yeah.
I like Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think she's doing something that's kind of counterculture. Well, counterculture to the mainstream.
Yeah.
And you can't say that she don't look good or something like that, because she do look good. I think she look good. I think she's cute.
Oh yeah.
So that's not you can't put that on her, nothing like that jacket on her. I don't know.
She's a woman. That's why.
And then she's
Some of the best MCs are women, though.
Right.
I mean, people won't say it. People will say it out loud, but the music industry doesn't look like that. But if you ask me who are like some of my favorite MCs, the women at the top. MC Light is still one of the MCs. Queen Latifah and Lauryn Hill. I mean, you start there, and then
we overlook the genius of Missy.
Yeah, definitely.
I love Eve.
Yeah, I was listening to Eve a couple of days ago.
Maybe. I'm 7. Right?
Okay.
My top 5 would be Wayne, Lil Wayne.
Which one? Wayne,
Lil Wayne,
Mixtape
Wayne. Lil Wayne from the Bee Gees all the way up to the release of whenever Carter 6 come out.
Lil Wayne for life.
But I mean, not every last one of those albums are my favorite.
Yeah.
He's my guy. Wayne, Bun B, UGK, put them as one. Outkast is one. They never sold the album separately, so they can't be.
I don't know. You must have listened to the verses with Andre 3000 on that, Drake on that, Ross.
But
he killed some stuff.
He did. But no, that's the feature part, but the album, they never. So I call it one. So we got
his walking out verse.
Oh yeah.
Everything. 3000. Wayne, UGK. What did I say? Wayne, UGK, Outkast. We got Jay-Z, of course, and I'm gonna throw one out there. JT, the bigger figure. He's from the Bay Area.
You made names later.
He's from the Bay Area. Man, I remember him from 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Just jamming, yeah. So you know about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. JT.
Okay.
So that's my 5.
Go.
Y'all need to look up JT the Big.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
know.
Oh man,
We need like 10 instead of top 5.
Yeah.
I know it's crazy, right? That was a good one. Let's do quote of y'all's day. Like, what's some words you living by?
The quote from last night. We stand on the back of giants.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's gonna be the title of the mural.
Yeah.
East End on the shoulders of giants.
There we go.
Shout out to Big Jeff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Jeff on that one,
You're
man.
gonna give me credit for it, Jeff.
I was listening to The Shop, and it had Drew Barrymore, Idris on there, Kyrie.
That's a new one.
It's a new one, right? And it stuck to me what she said on there. She said they were talking about winning and losing. She said that you can learn how to win and you can learn how to lose, but winners who learn how to do both together are the ones who accept the process. What I was saying of both. When you lose and it doesn't affect you, and when you win and it doesn't affect you, then you've accepted the process of, so let's accept the process.
Yeah.
We gotta embody that.
That seems like that's a life quote.
It is.
It is, man. It is.
Yeah, you definitely like have those highs and those lows, and you just gotta accept like when they come.
Right.
You know.
And of course, I knew how she was putting it with all of them being successful, and like what she was actually asking Idris, like it was the James Bond conversation. Like he was asking them, like, why do y'all think I should do that? That's what she was saying. When you realize that you can't do a role, and when you can do a role, and you accept both of those, then that's when you truly win.
I've been in that space a lot. It's actually what we discussed that group last night, and how it's the root of being president is acceptance of what it is.
Yeah.
And so it's like not being caught up in what you thought it should be, and not being caught up in what the possibilities could be, but accepting what it is. So that way you know what you have to work with. So you know your strengths and weaknesses. You know where your lack is and where your abundance is. And so that way you make the best decision possible to continue to move forward.
You have to be able to redefine what success means instead of being fixed in a particular idea.
Right.
Yes.
Trying to attain. Which is hard because we're trained to think that success is one fixed thing.
This.
Exactly. And when you don't meet that mark, then you start reevaluating your whole life sitting at mark around somewhere. It's like, what the hell did I do with my life if I didn't hit the market? And it's not always about that. It's about what you gain on the way to trying to achieve that.
And movies would get you in that mind frame, because I always, like with what you just said, I always think to movies when they show class reunions. And everybody's like, I gotta do this before I go back to my class reunion. And I've been to 2 class reunions. And it's nothing like that. Mainly because I see everybody every day. Not so, but movies depict that right there. It's like I gotta do it. I gotta be this. I gotta be that.
Yeah.
To go back, and I remember when such and such used to pick on me, so now I gotta go and do this. And it's like nobody even remembers that, man. Yeah. Like there's some parts of it, but it's like I don't even remember that.
And a lot of things are not practical. We have this idea of certain things, but it's not practical, nor is it sustainable.
Yeah.
Or you get there and you realize, like, no, this is not.
What you wanted.
Yeah, this is not what I want. Like,
I know me, I'm a goal person, so I'm always trying to obtain a goal. And people are always like, oh, I see you doing your thing and you doing this.
They love that.
And I'm like, not really. Like, I'm still working hard trying to get to the next thing. So my thing, I never get caught up in like an achievement. I try, because I'm always on to the next one. So but I know like people like it. So sometimes I have to mention it. Yeah, you know, I did this.
You know, for the people,
Yeah.
but
But they like that's what they need.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
need. I don't
that's
personally
what
need.
they
It fits into society.
Yeah.
That's what people drive. People are driven off of what you're doing good and what you're doing bad. So
Right.
And I don't like that. I don't like the whole box thing.
Yeah.
Stop trying to. What I found is people want to reduce who you are and what you do to a box or to something, a concept they can understand. And I'm greater than your understanding. So expand your understanding, and then you can get the fullness of who I
You're
am.
more complex than
Like and be like, oh, you know, it's just like it's more, like you said, it's complex. It's more to it.
Yeah.
And so, and you made me think of like Dame Dash when he said like, once you have that dream and you've completed it, now what? Like I've been living out my high school dream for like the last 5+ years. Like I'm doing stuff different. And it's weird when people do, they're like, well, what you been up to? And I'm just like, you know, I mean, living. Like, and you try to find something to say that make them feel like, you know, and it's annoying. I don't like it.
It's a lot of times, like the way I use my social media is I know I'm feeding into it, but I use my social media as the way for people to keep up with what I'm doing. So they like, oh, wow, what you been doing? What you got going on this week? And a lot of times you just like, I'm on my way to work. Like, I'm just, I ain't really thinking about like what I got to do this week.
With that, like, saying Dame Dash, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Dame Dash.
I am too, so don't feel alone.
I'm a fan of Dame Dash. Just as equal as I'm a fan of Kanye West. And, you know, I think the world does not know how to handle arrogance. You know, but they want you to be beneath who you are. They want you to be less of who you are, right? But they don't want you, because they don't want you to be arrogant. They don't want you to be the Kanye or the Dame Dash. How do y'all see that as an issue?
I don't know how to say this. I'm really tough on Kanye right now. Yeah. And what I try to do is not give him as much energy as he probably wants. But yeah, I've been real tough on Kanye because I know he's a complicated dude and he got a lot of stuff going on mentally. And then I think people are taking advantage of him because of that.
For a long time.
Yeah.
I think what we're saying with him is years worth of damage. But I feel like it goes back to, like I was saying, people want to fit people in the box. You can't put somebody like Kanye in the box. And so someone trying to break out of it, like you don't know what to do. Like people don't know what to do with that. They only know what to do with a certain amount. And when somebody shows up with a lot of that, then they try to, you know, constrain it and
then him being black.
And backfire.
Yeah.
And then his mom, that whole ordeal with his mom, that I feel like that definitely was a huge gasket. I tell people all the time, like, things could have been very different for me when my mom died. Like that was just grace, because it wasn't that whole saying like God's the keeper when you didn't want to be kept.
Well, we have when we lose a loved one, we don't have the camera in our face.
Yeah.
We don't have somebody across the states telling everybody what I feel and hadn't even talked to me. You know, like, so but I think he handled it well. And see, just like the Lil Wayne from start to anytime, these are two people that I resonated with. These are two people that I picked apart. And it was like Kanye was the person who I felt like, that's confidence. It's confidence within the working around all of the troubles, the stuff, to be able to still create. Which is
where the take advantage comes in. Because somebody needs to be around you to protect you until you sit down somewhere. And this is not the time. You can't. it's never, I don't want to say never.
You don't say never.
It's probably not a good idea to come from a broken place while you're still broken.
Yeah.
You slashing blood on everybody else, and you getting affected. Your wound getting reinfected. It becomes too much of what is more than what it's supposed to be. When initially it was just a cut, but now it's staph infection. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I think it goes back to who you have around you. But your question to the arrogance thing. I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's confidence. And I think the root of confidence is acceptance. I've accepted who I am. I accept when Dad said, I spin and then I re-up and then that's how I do. I accept the way that I do things and I'm okay with that. And that's what I'm living in versus regardless of, I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think that you should, that any of those. It's just that this is who I am. This is how I'm coming. And either you gonna roll with me or you're not, either way. But I've accepted that. With Kanye, I don't think Kanye has that. I think Kanye's very wounded, and I feel like he does not have. I feel like he should call me. So we can talk.
Not in his defense, but Kanye in 99, he did a interview. I think it was 98 going into 99, New Year's interview on MTV, and they were introducing him. Jay-Z was introducing him as who he was. Kanye said something that stuck out to me since then. When I sell 100 million records, the world's gonna think I'm crazy. He said that in 99. When he sold 100 million records, a lot of things happened to Kanye. His mom died. The world started thinking he was crazy.
But you know what that tell me? He knew he was crazy then. But he's accepted the crazy, which came off his confidence.
I don't want to call it crazy. I don't want to call it crazy because I always say to be as great as the greats. Your Jay-Z's, your Wayne's, even in the sports world, your LeBron. Well, let me take LeBron out of that. Your Jordan and your Tom Brady. There's a level of insanity that you have to reach in the world's eyes. Repetitiveness, getting away from everybody, doing what you have to do to be a 7-time champion, a 6-time champion. You see what I'm saying? To get an Emmy or get a Grammy. You can't talk to Beyonce when she's making an album. People will think she's crazy, because of so it's like you have to reach a level.
I'm gonna say something
to get that success
as a creative person. And I know this might come out crazy, but I feel like I'm Jay-Z.
So no, you're supposed to.
I know. I know that.
Yeah.
I know I am. I know I'm. When I'm like when you, and I think I understand that the ideal of it, like, you have to be really confident in what you're doing because days get shaky. Like, other things outside of the studio shake you up. Right. So I understand. But I think when we're talking about Kanye, we're talking about a much more complex person.
Yeah.
It's not just like his talent. It's these the other things that he really needs help. And then even when you watch the documentary, you can see the level of and confidence around him, like to allow him to do things he do. It's some incompetence going on. It's some people around him that's just around him to take what they can and keep it moving. But I think what a problem for me with Kanye is when he's having these conversations about things that are detrimental to communities. That's the problem that I have with him. He's talking about the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, and you acting like as if the Democrat Party is something that the Republican Party not. It's like you want to deliver the people from this evil to this evil, and that's the problem that I have. And I know it's because we've given him the term of being a genius, but when you tell somebody they're a genius, they don't understand the limits of where their genius might be.
Right.
You might not be a political genius, so you don't understand the ropes of how politics work.
Right.
And then in politics, when you start talking about politics, you start talking about like some really deep social issues, and you start to talk about the complexity of how people use people's emotions in order to sway them and do different things with them. So I think, to me, that's when it gets complicated, is when he starts to talk about these things that, and I don't want to say he shouldn't be talking about, but I want to say that he's not fully educated on.
I think that's the attention grabber.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, even let's go back to the day he said that black folks, slavery was a choice because the black folks didn't do anything. It sounded, for me, it was a conversation he was a part of, with somebody else, and then he came to the table. He was like, yeah, that's right. And then he comes to the table talking about it without the rest of the meat and bread that was supposed to be with that. Because when you're talking about slavery, you're talking about something that's super complicated. You're talking about people that's in a certain context, right? It was so many more things to talk about if you say something like that, and he didn't have any of that to deliver. And I think a lot of conversations I hear him talk about that go into that realm, he doesn't have the real the depth to talk about it, and that's where I have a problem with it. And that's why I always tell people I just stop giving him my energy. And I think for us, for art folks, or the counterculture black folks, it was such a big thing because he represented us. He was the artsy.
So we didn't protect them.
Right.
I mean, we thought it was funny when he was drunk with Amber Rose.
That's
we
how
thought
I
it was funny when he said, Bush don't like black people. We thought it was key.
It was serious. That's what he said.
No, he was very serious.
But it's the same behaviors. When I'm saying the pattern of behavior, like you said, you go back to that 99 interview. The pattern of behavior has been there, and so. When I say crazy, I know it's a controversial term. It's not what I'm supposed to use.
It's what he said it needs to be.
Throw it off. It's something really wrong. It's not just that, like you said, that musical genius, and that does not disqualify you from being wrong or needing help or not having equipped in certain places to do things. And that what makes it dangerous is when there's a ton of people who watch him and look at him and want to mimic. Right. And it's not okay for a lot of his behavior to be done, and you'll find yourself in a sticky part trying to do that without the backing of the billions of dollars somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think to go back to your original point about arrogance versus confidence, that we know, and it's been demonstrated, that America does not like black confidence, whether it's rooted in knowledge or not.
I wanted to make that.
Yeah, that's part of the biggest, conceit of the whole, of this conversation is that, regardless of how well versed you are on the topic, people don't want to see black folks shine on a particular level. Right. And so you're going to run into some interference of some sort. Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, Kanye West to some degree, Barack Obama, Dick Gregory, Paul Bunyan, whoever, right? At some level, when you start to say certain things with a certain level of confidence, then that you know what you're talking about.
Because 45, nobody said he had mental problems.
Exactly. Well, some did, but it is qualified.
You know what I'm saying?
I personally do. Yeah, I personally do. I get what you're saying.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, but I personally feel like he got some.
Yeah.
No, he definitely.
He has. Yeah, he
does.
I think that, and it happens to them, and then I think it happens to us. Who do you think you are coming in, doing a mural, or starting a collective, and doing all this work and so on and so forth? Or smiling. Why are you smiling? Why are you walking there with your head held high? Anytime it comes to us being confident, it's automatic. It gives people are like, confident. What's that? It's automatic arrogance. Yeah. And Daniel always laughs at me because I always say, like, I'm not better than Beyonce, but Beyonce ain't better than me.
No.
Like she might can bust a move, but I can cancel. Like I can do things that she cannot do,
Right.
and so therefore she's not. So I think of myself highly because of my skill set and my abilities and who I know I am and what I hope to be. And so having that level of confidence and walking in that and accepting who you are is something that the world is not used to when we're living in a world where, like I said, a lot of traumas are being brought up,
Right.
a lot of what is it called? Where it's imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
All these things have been put in place, and it's this contradiction of remembering or learning who your ancestors are and were and where you came from and where we came from as a people and what you have, your abilities, and knowing that, and then hearing the world say, but you're not that and you can't do that. And so that's what I think causes a lot of the conflict is society pushing back on who we know we are, specifically as Black people, because if we know that and we walk in that as a collective, it is Wakanda.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's not Wakanda. Before I even seen Wakanda, I seen Nipsey Hussle Dream Center.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's not just there. It's in multiple places. So it's one of those things where it causes us to doubt ourselves, and then if I'm not that, then you can't do that because we grew up the same or we look the same, and so then it becomes a clash within our community.
Right.
Sorry, I thought I got loud.
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head. So
that's just one of my things because I listen to Kanye and Dane. I take the good and I take the bad, and I always listen to like the wits of it. Like I saw the video where the daughter had the wand, right? The magic wand, and she's like, "Look, Dad, I got the magic stick." He's like, "Yeah, you got the magic stick." And Kim's like, "No, don't say that. You know what that is?" He's like. And he's like, what? She has a wand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel like a lot of people see his.
I never even thought of that, but I don't even think that's not even a. I wouldn't even see that to be a Black people thing. Like
that's the thing, though. That's
we didn't have a problem. That wasn't us that had a problem.
That's my example of how people can take things that he say out of context because they were having a father and daughter moment about something that an adult could have taken any kind of way, but that's not what the kid intended.
Yeah.
And she's waving a magic wand in the air.
But because of the world they live in, because of him being a musician, that's where the other parent wants to go.
Right.
Who she is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
So, oh man, when will this project kick off?
It's
The
ball is in the air.
Ball in the air.
I've been watching Bruce Leroy.
Okay.
So it's one of those kicks.
Oh man, with the waha at the end.
Oh man.
No, but it's definitely in process. We've been working on it. They've been working on the outline of the design and getting the context and the conversations and the input from the community is definitely adding to that picture. So we have for the mural, it hopefully it will be done this fall.
Yeah.
And for the documentary, we're hoping to pair those two together in a way. So we're still, things are actively being done, but dates we don't have right now. But we definitely, once we have them, we can share with everybody. But you can keep up with us, on the NCLA Facebook page and on the Black Creative Circle Facebook page, because it's a lot of stuff going on. Especially for Black people or Black artists in general, the Black Creative Circle is a great community for young, old, everything in between, artists of many different kinds. So following those two Facebook pages, you can be in the know of where we're gonna our next steps. But this fall is where our rollout will be.
Yeah.
So we're in the works of that. As soon as y'all get us some pictures and stuff,
Yeah.
Y'all
Sign
send
up
those
for these
pictures in.
interviews.
Send those pictures in. Send those pictures
as soon
in.
as them dates come. So, yeah, we're really excited about it because it's not. I don't know. For me, I'm not originally from Ruston, but
Yeah.
sitting there yesterday, it was just. First of all, I just feel like everybody black people related. So I just be excited. So it just be like
That's true.
it's
That's
not-
so true.
It's just like being in a room. It didn't feel
Yeah.
like outsiders. It felt like, oh, these are my people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just just in a different area. You know what I mean? And I say that, but my family is from the Shreveport area, and so it's like we all people, and so it's just a blessing to be able to do what we're doing and be able to help share the story of the community, because I think that's so important. People, like we said, people are excited. It was like eyes lit up, names and stories start rolling out, and to feel heard. We're supposed to be heard. We're supposed to be seen, and that is, a part of the project as well. We see you, we hear you, and you're of high value, and we want to share that with the world.
And those were older people. Like that was 70, 60-year-old people with their eyes lit up like kids.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that this thing happens, and hopefully everybody be proud.
Nobody's really seen a visual of East End.
Yeah.
A visual for East End.
Yeah.
Nothing in the positive light in it.
Right.
There's an image
Right.
out there. It's just not the one that we want.
Right.
Exactly.
Presented.
Yeah. So this is your chance
Yeah.
to tell your story your way.
Let's do
and
it.
get it out there and be a part of something big.
Let's do it. Where can the viewers find y'all on social media?
On social media, my social media is The Shell of Vitus. My website, my Instagram, my Twitter. It's all the same. This The Shell of Vitus. Don't add me on Facebook because I don't have any space. So
He friend out.
yeah, go forward.
For me, it's I love LUV Erica Nicole, ERIKA, no C's and no H in Nicole. So I love Erica Nicole, Instagram, Facebook, and my website is beacons.ai / Erica Nicole.
That sounds complicated.
It's free. Shout out to the free website.
Yeah.
That's why I got to
All right.
You can start off free, then build up.
All right.
Yep.
AKA Professor Davis. .com is my website. You can find me on Instagram at DEEARE. That's probably the best way to reach me.
Okay. Hey, y'all, remember to follow PHAT'S Barbershop Club on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Hit those notification buttons, like buttons, and everything to get all the up and coming episodes that I have. I got some stuff coming up. I'm about to start my season 2 here in a little while. I've been dealing with high school football
I seen that.
as of late, but that's fun. I've been wanting to do that, but I'm gonna get into my season 2. I had to give them a bonus episode with the mural, with the project.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all for coming on. I think Rusty needed to hear it, and we had a lot of people come through.
Okay, cool.
They heard it. They're gonna come back and listen. I'm gonna go through and take out points.
Yeah.
Throw them on there, and we gonna TikTok and all that, and people gonna see it. I had a good time, man. Y'all enjoyed this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was
definitely.
Can I plug the work thing?
Say it again.
Can I plug something for work?
Man, plug.
So I'm also the department head for visual and performing arts at Grambling State University.
Okay.
And we have our first production coming up at the end of the month, September the 27th through 29th. Wait Until Dark by Freddie Knott, directed by Professor Kyle Zimmerman. Tickets for children, $5, 12 or younger, $10 for general admission, and free for all GSU students with ID. This is going to be a great play. It's always a great play. You can follow the theater department at Grambling State University Theater on Instagram or Floridel Sandal Players on Instagram. And so you can keep up with the the student organization, as well as some behind the scenes stuff that goes on in the department.
Okay, man. Anybody got some shout outs? With that being said, no shout outs. Shout out to the world.
No.
Shout out to my wife and kids. They always watching.
Why you say no like that? He's been doing you bad.
No.
People been doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They've been doing well.
Man. I've been doing.
But you don't want to miss no names. That's why you
Nah.
know.
See, I'm running for mayor in 2024. So
Exactly.
I can't start calling out names.
I got you, man.
I'm joking. I'm not running for mayor.
Yes, he is.
That would be nice. I want to do it. I'm campaigning for you.
I bet you get a lot of votes.
Yeah.
I think so.
You think you'll get a lot of votes?
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, I thank y'all for coming. I thank Erica for reaching out to get this set up. That's all for today's episode on Fats Barbershop Club. We were kicking it with the BCC, Black Creative Circle. Y'all tap in with them. That's on Facebook too, right?
Yes, sir.
Black Creative Circle on
It's on
Facebook.
It's on IG, Twitter. No, not Twitter.
I think we're getting a TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all make sure y'all tap into
And
that. NCLAC. NCLAC. What is that?
North Central Louisiana Arts Council.
Look, there
So
it is.
it's the arts council that brings you Oktoberfest, Holiday Arts Market, and like a lot of the downtown arts stuff that goes on. So
Did y'all do the art walk? Was it sidewalk?
no, that was a collective of downtown Ruston artist galleries, so Ruston Artisans, Limitless Barbershop, and
Okay.
Creative Exchange.
Okay.
So it's a lot of us in the community, a lot of creative artsy organizations, and we tend to work together in partnership. And so that's what they do. And they got some cool stuff. I think they have some graffiti stuff coming up,
Okay.
which is really cool.
Yeah. I think that's coming up 24th, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I like that. I'm excited about that.
Oh, that's cool. That is good. We had a pretty good show. Y'all, Friday, Football Friday, 6:00 p.m. Y'all tune in. I am going to have ex-Ruston High football player Kevin Carter on. He spent time over at UAPB. He played all 4 years and graduated. So we're going to talk to him. Y'all tune in to that 6:00. That's it, man. Y'all ride out to my daughter.
What's up, Ruston? Thank you for listening to my Daddy Fat on Fast Barbershop Club.
Cool.